So welcome to another video and welcome to Riga Central Station behind me. We are going to see if a town I've heard quite a bit about since coming to Latvia, called Sigulda, about an hour away on the train, is worth visiting as a day trip from Riga. I've heard there are some caves, in fact the biggest cave in Europe, and some castles and things. So let's head into the station, buy a ticket and head up to Sigulda. So this is one seriously confusing station. Trains arrive on tracks that have a different number from the platform, and there are no signs to the platforms. So I've missed my train to Sigulda. I've now got half an hour to wait for the next one, and hopefully that arrives and I can find the right platform. So this day trip is not got off to a good start. I waited for the next train and the conductor wouldn't let me on with the ticket I had, and didn't seem to speak much English, so I couldn't really understand why. It's another hour now until the next train to Sigulda. While waiting hours, walk around the station a bit and then see if we can get to Sigulda today. If not, we're going to just have to abandon it. So shall we give trying to get to Sigulda one last go? There's about 20 minutes until the next train apparently. I think I found the right platform, although it says arriving on track something that's different to the platform number. If the train turns up, we'll get it. Whether we get back or not, we could end up in a situation like if you've seen my previous video when I went to rural Moldova and got kidnapped and stuck on the side of the motorway. But it looks quite promising. There's a sign here that says Sigulda 1226. So hopefully that is the one. So on board the train to Sigulda is very quiet and very old. It's definitely a Soviet train. So welcome to Sigulda. Finally got here, passing through a lot of countryside on that train. Took us about an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know where I'm going. There's some kind of watchtower here. But Sigulda is famous for two castles and an extensive cave system. There's an old castle, a new castle, and a cave system with cave drawings dating back to the 17th century. So we're going to try and find those. I've got about 4 hours here. There might be a bit of a hike, but we will get into the centre of Sigulda and then see where we are. So as I said, Sigulda is famous for two castles. A new castle that was built in 1878 by the Kropotkin family, led by a guy who supported Russian communism, anarchism. He apparently was quite a character. And then there's a medieval castle that was home to the kings and dukes that used to rule this part of what is now Latvia. It's about a 20-minute walk from the train station here in Sigulda. There seems to be a lot of roadworks happening here, but it should be another 5-10 minutes walking past some quite big houses. The road is closed, so I guess we've got to walk through a car park. I don't think I was supposed to have to jump over a ravine. I'm now covered in mud. Can this be the way to a castle? I'm being sent down a dirt path. So Google Maps is never wrong, right? We all know that. It's sending me down a muddy path. There's just no landmarks in Sigulda. It's just houses and roadworks so far. Maybe the train station is quite some distance from the actual town. But you just come off the main streets and you're down side dirty roads, passing wooden shacks. Can this be the way to a castle? Let's keep following the road round and see if we stumble across it. It's going to be like the Riga walking tour as well. maps don't work. You've just got to keep walking and see what you find. That seems to be the theme of Latvia so far. Just see what you find, see what you discover. So who's this chap? Some guy called Yanis Barons, who died in 1923. I don't know who he is, but his name seems to be mentioned on street signs and things in Sigulda. So I'm wondering if he was some kind of, maybe he invested, maybe he built a castle, I don't know. But I think we're now going the right way. I found a church in between those trees. A nice white church with a tall spire. But so far I have not seen any sign of a castle, new or old. Latvia is a confusing place. There are no street signs anywhere. So this is the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Sigulda. Apparently it dates back to 1483. It was damaged during the Polish-Swedish War and then again in World War One. And apparently you can go up to the steeple and see some button art. Let's see if we can go inside. kind of feels like I shouldn't be here. There's just nobody around. Let's hope this thing doesn't start ringing. What time is it? Well, we can't really see much. Oh, flies everywhere. Time to go back down. Right, let's go and see if we can find this castle. Or just one of them will do. And then see if we can walk up to the caves. There's a cable car as well that apparently takes you up to some viewing point. But being a Saturday in the school holidays, it's shut. Is this the castle? So I guess this is the castle. So this is the new castle. But apparently it's shut for a wedding. So I've got myself a raw cacao drink, because you know, come to Latvia and drink hot chocolate. It's very strong, but it is quite chilly now, so it could warm me up before we do the short hike to the caves, which apparently are about a 25-minute walk from here. So I'm now walking down an incredibly steep, winding road. No other people, hardly any cars. Up to this cave system somewhere in the hills around here. Should take about 25 minutes apparently. So I've stumbled across something you wouldn't expect in Latvia. A sign to where Tarzan lives. This is a bridge over the river Gauja, that runs straight through Sigulda. So I may be lost, and if you're new to the channel, get used to that. I get lost on every single trip I take, but I think I've taken a wrong turning and ended up in the middle of a farm. There's hay bales. This does not feel like the way to a tourist attraction. Let's just keep walking and see where we end up. I'm not even sure where this town is in relation to the rest of Latvia, to be honest. I hope we're not going to walk across a border or something soon. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that either. So there are hiking trails all around here. This is Gauja National Park. I don't have time to take a long hike, but some of them can go on for miles and miles to other municipalities, other towns. And if you keep walking, you get to the border. I don't have time to do that, but hopefully we can find this cave, and then we need to head back. So just ahead of us is a cave called, imaginatively, the Small Cave, and it's a small cave. There's a much bigger one a bit farther up the track, so let's go and see what it's like inside this small cave. So it's what you'd imagine a cave to be like, that's small. Let's go and see if we can find the bigger one. I'm not sure what else there is to see around here, and it's just started to rain. There's forecast thunderstorms. The next train back to Riga, I think that cave we saw was actually the main cave, and there's a smaller one just around the corner from it. The next train to Riga is in about 35 minutes. I don't know if I can get back. The one after that is in 2.5 hours time. I really don't want to be stuck here for that long. So let's try and hurry back to the middle of the town and back to the train station as quickly as we can. Well, how disappointing. There's a sign outside that cave. It's called Gauja's Cave. Apparently it is the most visited attraction in Latvia. It's literally just a hole in some rocks. There's nothing in it. There's some ancient carvings, but a lot of them have got love hearts and they've got the year 1980 something in them. So I don't think they're ancient. But that is the main attraction of Latvia. Yeah. Would I recommend coming all the way to Sigulda for that? Probably not. Well, let's try and get back into Riga. "5 minutes until the train leaves. A 7-minute walk." So there we go. Was it worth going all that way to see a cave, a tiny cave, and a castle that was shut because there was a wedding, and having to deal with the hassle of Latvian trains and stations and tickets? I don't want to complain, but that cave was hyped all over the internet, and it was just a hole in a brick wall. But yeah, I hope you enjoy coming with me on this unusual tour of Latvia. Let me know what you thought. Would you bother going? Well, thanks for watching. There's more to come, including a visit to the seaside here in Latvia in the next video or the video after, and then a quite unique way of getting home, so make sure you don't miss those. Thanks for watching and see you next time.